Welcome back to WCS America and our third day of Challenger League play. We're about to hop into the STC versus Catz, our fourth match for the day, fourth out of six. We're moving fast, man. It's only 6 p.m., and the reason for that is 3-1, 3-0, 3-0, as our matches have gone by very quickly. Since we're kind of recapping a little bit, why don't we take another look at today's match sheet? We'll just go back. Talk about what's happened and what is about to happen. Hyun versus Jig was actually our second match of the day. Hyun 3-0 thumping of Jig. It was pretty one-sided. Unfortunate for Jig, who made a good run getting through the qualifiers, but unfortunately ran into probably one of the most difficult opponents possible.
That's right.
In the challenger matches. QXC versus Select was a phenomenal series. QXC finds himself ahead every single game, and Select somehow maneuvers his way to victory in 3 out of 4 games. So very well played there by Select. TheStc versus King Kong just finished up. That was a 3-0 victory for TheStc, showing us why he is the champion that he is, in spite of the fact that a lot of people are saying that he's old and rusty. He's still able to make it all the way into the American Premier League. The STC versus Catz is up next, and that'll be followed by a couple more Zerg games. Fnatic Neeb up against Ender. A little bit of ZVT action. And then it's going to be Revival versus Slam, a Korean versus a Taiwanese player to close out the day. And I've got a buddy, Breaker SC2, who casts a lot of Chinese and Taiwanese StarCraft, who says Slam is an 85% favorite to win that series.
Wow, that's pretty bold. Is he going to put money on that?
85 to 1?
Yeah, I should ask him.
85-15, Ben. Don't get greedy.
Okay.
Okay, 85 to 1, 85 to 15. Very different odds. See, this is the type of stuff I have to teach you, Ben, before you go to Las Vegas, okay? Ben has, like, the greatest way of playing craps, by the way, okay? So what he does is he buys the table and waits for someone to roll really well. And rather than collecting your money, you let everything ride. And you're like, I'm just waiting for a really good roller. And Ben, you have met some really good rollers.
I've also met a lot of bad ones.
You've met a lot of bad ones.
You know, the last time we were in Vegas, it was, I don't know, a couple months ago. And I had been doing very well at the craps table. I was probably up $700, which is a good feeling.
That's fantastic.
And so the last night we were there, I took all of my winnings, and I took our entire production team out for the night out on the town. I spent everything. So
that's like the nicest thing ever.
I went from it was actually a pretty mediocre night, to be completely honest with you, because Vegas is an expensive city.
It is. It's like, I'm going to spend this. I'm going to give them so much. It's like, one drink for everybody, please.
Regardless, we took everyone out. We spent all the money. And it was like, okay. So we go back to the casino. It's our last night in Vegas. I was like, you know what? I'm going to play craps. I've got the $200 that I came with, right? Yeah. So I sit down at the table and I start playing. I'm playing, and I grind it up from $200 to $300. I'm up $100. It's like 4 in the morning. I'm ready to go to bed, call it a night, go home with money in my pocket, feeling good about myself. And then our buddy Randall walks up to the table. I don't know where he's been, but he's obviously feeling very festive. And he's like, "Hey Ben, let's play craps." I was like, "Oh man, I'm just kind of finishing up. I'm about to go to bed. Come on, man, just one roll." Yeah, okay. And then
I walk up.
And then Andre walks up, and Randall starts rolling, and it does not go well.
It does not go well.
And it was the span of about 5-10 minutes that it took me to take that $300 and turn it into 0.
And what's so funny is that we were doing the pass line for a majority of the time, and like, let's try the do not pass line. And right when that happens, it's like point. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
How could they do that to us, Ben?
It's
terrible.
It's such a fun game, though.
It is.
It's my favorite game.
It is. I like your style. It is the highest variant style. Well, of course, they're higher. But, like...
Yeah, I've got a couple crap strategies, you know.
Yes. You have the do not pass line, where you're basically betting against everybody on the table. There's the buy everything and let it ride. What's the other ones?
Well, those are the only two that I really play. But there's...
You do 8 and 6 sometimes and just do standard.
Yep.
That's about
it.
it.
Kind of your standard, safe, not really going to win a lot unless somebody just blows up style. Buying the whole table is how you actually go huge when somebody goes on a monster roll.
That's correct.
If you're ever going to go like Rockstar mode in Vegas, that's probably the way to do it. and just wait till someone has a monster roll. And
it's also the highest, well, I shouldn't say the highest, but it's a large percentage of the time you're walking away with nothing left.
Yes. Yes.
And you can literally blow everything in like a day. So, or, you know. Anyway, we are ready to get into game number 1. It's Yansu with the STC versus Root Catz.
Into game we go, where we can see spawning here in the top right-hand corner of the map, the blue Zerg player. His name is Root Catz. Look how cool Katz's hookup looks. He's got Carbot Ling face at the base of his hatchery. He's got the Root logo. Paulo is a true champion. A lot of people love him as he has taken Root and grown them to be one of the more well-known names in competitive StarCraft, and that is all a labor of love. His opponent in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, the Red Terran player, the Korean. He is the STC of Team Complexity. And the STC is going to be a tough opponent for Catz, although I do think when it comes to Korean Terrans, the STC is probably one of the guys that Catz is capable of knocking off on a good day.
I would say so. I think I think it's just Katz's style, and he's a smart person too. I think it just enables him to be so successful against any of these Koreans, because the Koreans tend to be, you know, this cookie cutter build. And I'm not saying STC is like that, but I would say he leans more towards the cookie cutterness than anything else. And Catz can really abuse that, especially if, you know, the STC gets completely caught off guard. And I think that's more than capable of happening. And you can already see some cheekiness.
Catz is up to something. We've seen Catz use this build before. The Speedling opening is obviously going to be very good against any kind of Reapers or any kind of cheesy build. And if the STC does something like expand on the low ground, that speed should kick in at a time that will allow Catz to cancel that command center. It is a bit of a gamble, though, because if the STC just puts that command center, I don't know, right here in the normal spot, Catz is not going to gain a whole lot, and he's going to find himself playing from a little bit of a disadvantage. But, well, okay.
I find Yansu a very weird map to do this on, because it's not likely that you see command center first, given that there's no good command center supply depot barracks location that you could put without dying to 6-pool. So the propensity is to go for a barracks first rather than get a command center first. So, you know, it's probably like a 70% of the time you're experiencing a barracks first, in which case this fast metabolic boost opening isn't the optimal strategy.
It looks like the STC might be thinking low ground expand. Oh my goodness. This is a possibly best case scenario for Catz if he starts this command center before that Reaper realizes what's happening.
I don't know, Ben. Even this, I don't think it's the best. This Reaper is going to get in here and see, oh, you haven't gone for a hatchery, and on top of that, you got metabolic boost. I just make a bunker, and I'm going to be safe. And we can see metabolic boost timing 50 seconds away. A bunker pops up in, what, 45 seconds? Or is it 40?
We're going to see. So far, there is no bunker on the low ground, and the whole plan here is for Catz to cancel this building command center. Speed's not quite ready, though, and will it finish up in time? A bunker has begun in a good spot, tucked away beneath that ramp. Oh, Catz, your lings are getting picked apart by Reapers. Oh, no. Perhaps a noble idea, but it doesn't look like it's going to work out this time.
No, it is not. He has to just retreat. But still, I mean, the STC should have been okay. He has Reapers on the high ground that could have defended the bunker pretty easily here. But now, STC getting in a little trouble.
Reapers are going to get caught. The command center is still not finished, and could Catz have just hit the dream timing? There's no units back at home because that barracks has been building a reactor. Reaper does get inside at the last possible second. Lings need to just work on that command center, though. The Reaper can't reach. And with this number of Zerglings, I think Catz could actually have managed to cancel this command center. This is exactly what he wanted, and this is exactly what he's going to get. Needs to kill the command center before Hellions get out, though. Oh, come on, Catz.
Kills the bunker.
Focus on the CC,
bro. That does help, but yes, he needs to get the command center at all costs right now. Looking good. The Reaper taking a little damage, but here are the Hellions.
Oh, with the Hellions being out, this might get a little bit questionable. CC, yeah, it's going to go down.
Yeah, I think so.
He's got it.
Nice.
Command center does get canceled. That means the STC is going to build 2 command centers up on the high ground inside of his main base. But this is exactly what Catz wanted. A massive delay tactic. It's going to be a very long time before there are any extra command centers completed for the STC, which means Catz is going to be able to power ahead, and now just has to defend against follow-up cheese.
Hellions, for sure.
Yeah.
And I think the most standard thing that you can do after this is go for 2 base mutas. Yes, you could go for some sort of speedling expand, but you're so far behind in the speedling count. The Hellions have already been started. You traded off a lot of Zerglings at the beginning stage, so I think mutas should be the most common follow-up for Catz in this position. He just macros, he defends, he goes from there, takes an expansion around 9-10 minutes, and then just tries to play it off a standard game. I don't know if it was completely worth it, Ben, to be honest. Yes, the cancel command center is great, but that was a lot of Zerglings.
It was, but I like it, man. I like the position. The STC is absolutely going to have 3 completed command centers done very soon here. But if in the meantime, Catz enjoys a worker lead. His lair is finishing. The Spire is soon to be started. And, we're going to have to just wait and see. It's going to be close. For now, I would say small advantage Catz, but there's still plenty of time for the STC to equalize things, to get himself back in this game, maybe even pull ahead.
Definitely.
Something as simple as a Hellion run by could be very problematic. Although it looks like Catz is preparing for just that possibility.
I like the fact that STC isn't being all too presumptuous with this. He absolutely could have done a Hellion run by, but he has to keep in mind there could be Zerglings up ahead on the high ground. It's best if I don't try to press my luck. Overlord comes in and sees, okay, is it going to be some sort of 2-base aggression, or is it going to be a follow-up command center? He sees the delayed barracks, so he knows for certain. I shouldn't say for certain.
He even saw the second command center in the main base. Yeah. He has to assume that there's a 3rd command center in the natural.
Yep.
So he should know what's up. He also saw the stem research. Doesn't know when that's going to finish. Man, I wonder. Stem is 60 seconds away. Yeah, there's no chance of Mutas canceling that. Would have been cool, but not going to happen. Catz right now contained to 2 bases, and I guess this is probably what you were a little worried about, Andre, the fact that he's got no way of breaking out or securing a 3rd base whilst teching up to these Mutalisks and getting ready for the mid-game.
He definitely needs to look for that. He has to kind of roll the dice that the Hellions and Reapers aren't in position to stop something like that. And check that out. Wow. There's a centrifugal hooks is going to be researched. That's quite peculiar. This could be a Zergling Baneling all-in, especially with the +1 Carapace instead of +1 melee.
STC's not paying attention. His Hellions are all going to get surrounded. And that's a great pickup for Catz. The STC losing all of his map control now.
That's exactly right, Ben. And with that, he can deny a 3rd base. That looks so, so pretty. He's going to search around for a 3rd, put Zerglings in the right location, and see the Orbital Command Center just about to land. And that should be an instant queue. Send all my Zerglings over there and stop that from happening.
Now, the STC does have Marines out on the map. He is getting upgrades. He does have STEM. He's getting combat shields. 1-1 on the way. He's been forced to lift this command center, so again, he's been set back a little bit. But
the Mutas.
Yeah, they are here. Muta are out on the map. And they're going to start denying a little bit of the economy. Actually, there's no turrets out for the STC, which means he's going to take some SCV losses here in the main base. This is excellent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 SCVs down already. And there's a promise of return visits, I guarantee it.
Wow, look at this. A lot of Zerglings in production right behind this.
Banelings have been morphed, so Catz is going to go for Ling Baneling at the front while continuing to pressure in the back with these Mutas. This is a very cool play out of our Peruvian Zerg. Mutas make their way into the SCV line once more. They're going to pick off a couple more workers. That turret will continue to be constructed and is not going to be canceled. But the STC is out
coming
of position. Widow Mines actually aren't going to fire.
Not going to connect with anything. Oh, there we go. Takes
Finally,
a large
they do
chunk
go
out.
off, and that means that actually
it's not going to be
the
enough.
STC is going to have just enough. Catz on just 2 bases, not able to muster the amount of units he needs to make this kind of an attack effective. Another painful truth here is that it's 52 drones against 47 SCVs. Economically, Catz is not really ahead anymore. Triple Orbital is very powerful, and in spite of the fact that he's denied that 3rd expansion from landing, the STC is doing just fine sitting back on 2 bases and macroing up.
He is a little bit behind in the armory. I think Catz his better alternative would have been to get Burrow once you take so much map control.
Oh, get your Lings over here because these Marines are going to want to unload.
That's right.
And that's what's going to happen. He's going to lose a couple of Mutalisks, perhaps unnecessarily, but still a good pickup, denying that drop.
But just think, Burrow would have been fantastic because your opponent has that orbital command center advantage. You need to limit that as much as possible. Stop the train, the pain train of just mass Widow Mines, mass Marines, mass Marauders, mass Medevacs, and slow him down. Force him to constantly scan because you're not normally used to this much area. So use that Burrow, get the burrowed Banelings. You would have been much better. He tried to end it right there, did not work at all. And now Catz is in a tough situation. He's putting a lot of pressure on, but he's not future-oriented. Just Carapace is being researched. No +1 melee attack whatsoever.
Oh, wow. Baneling hits, connecting mostly with the army of the STC there. Catz being a bit audacious with this Baneling morph in, but it's going to work out for him. This command center has been forced to lift. I don't know if the STC can defend this. Mutas just right-clicked on that CC. Banelings will continue to make good connections. The STC losing a lot of Marines, and this command center getting painfully low. But finally, the Mutas chased away by the Widow Mines.
Drop.
Catz forced to go back to deal with this drop, which picked up a couple of drone kills, but really not that many. Only 4 drones killed by the STC, so far so good for Catz. Let's look through the Catz cam here to see what he's doing.
Unfortunately, Catz hasn't really built on his mute account, so things are still okay for Catz as he's put on a lot of pressure. He had some pretty good engagements. But,
that's actually pretty good control from Catz, splitting off there at the last second. As we'll go back into the Eagle Eye point of view here. The STC, knowing that he has to secure this third expansion, Catz doing everything in his power to deny it. Once more, going to run some Lings in there, pick off a couple of SCVs. This time the Banelings, though, are not where they need to be because they're rolling into the natural. Wow, the STC with some great map awareness is going to take virtually no losses there.
Definitely.
Defending 2 places pretty effectively,
all right.
Although he is going to lose these 2 mules.
Yep, Mutas able to just do a little damage there. And I like this now finally building on that mute account. He actually delayed this third base from coming out for so long, obviously. And the mules definitely help out so much, or killing the mules definitely help out so much. STC, he's in a tough position, I would say. Catz has put himself in a position where I think he can be considered ahead right now. Widow Mine count isn't anywhere near his opponent, or his Marines, rather. And he's starting to try to mount an assault, but it's going to be difficult still.
This is tough for both sides, though. I mean, while Catz has done a great job of delaying the STC, that third base is now up. And a 3-base Terran is a very scary that, but the STC's gotten a great position here outside the third base of Catz. And this could very well be a dead Zerg expansion. Catz has got to be so careful about how he chooses to engage this, and this might be the perfect engagement as Lings and Banelings come in from both sides. The Mutas are here as well, and Catz cleans it up. Oh my god, that could have gone so badly. The STC will retreat back to a couple more Widow Mines, but Catz is prepared, and he's able to shut it down pretty easily. And there's not that much left here to defend this expansion. Mutas are going to kind of cause some chaos here in the mineral line, picking off more than just a couple SCVs. And the Marine count not high enough to fight. Catz, look at you doing work. The STC falling down below 80 supply. This command center once more going to come under fire. Once more, I think STC should narrowly defend it as Catz continues to pick off Marines. And Lings are going to continue to stream in. He's got to be careful not to lose these Mutalisks. But he does want to keep piling on the pressure. Catz, you're doing such sick work. The command center goes down. The STC taps out. And